All right, welcome to Sunday night. This is for everyone who is feeling tired, foggy, and moody and would like to do something about it. So, I'm going to give you guys just a minute to get signed in. I am going to go over here. I have a link. I created a check sheet for today's video. And what that check sheet is, and I'll keep reminding you, is it is called a hormone harmony check sheet. So for anybody who's interested in wanting to just stay on track a little bit and have some daily reminders, this would be it. So let's see here. And and what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop this link for the download right into the show notes. See if I can get over here. Put this right at the top. Harmony check. I can't spell. Checklist. All right. Boom. Okay. That was not that. Oops. Okay, let's see if I can go back and get it. Anybody in here? Hey, P Squared, how are you? You are gonna love tonight's video. And let's go here. Let me go here and here. Let's see, I was having some digital challenges. There we go. Okay, and we're gonna save that. Okay. All right, so I have put a checklist, a hormone harmony checklist into the show notes. I was able to get that just in the 9th hour, we'll just call it. There was so many things running up to tonight to get live tonight. So yeah, I mean, just the stress of life, there's so many things that come at us on a daily basis. And we're just moving and grooving. And I'm the same way. I'm trying to cram all of it in and trying to get it all done and make sure it looks kind of perfect, but I also subscribe to it is better done than perfect. So I know that I can't get it all done. I do bump up against some technical issues here and there, but yeah, so that's it. We're here. Okay, so tonight's video is we're going to talk about hormone harmony and oh, awesome. Okay, great. Yes. I don't know how to do it sometimes either. And Joe from Garden State Gardener texted me earlier today and he was like, can you come on my show tonight at 5? And I was like, the me that I know that is me wanted to immediately say yes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I recorded 2 Reset Mondays earlier this week and neither of them had audio. So, cause I'm trying to pre-record them. So neither of them had audio. So I had to start over. Hey, Rick, how are you? Yeah, no problem. I love that you come back for the replay. Thank you so much. So I had to get Reset Monday done. I've been gone all weekend and had to get that done. I didn't get the edit done, but I'll do it. At least the video's done. Show notes are done. Everything's done so that I can get put up. But that means that after this show tonight, I still have a little bit of work to do and then I can finally relax. So anywho, yeah, so drop a comment in the notes if you feel, you sometimes feel like you just can't think straight. You're forgetting things that that you shouldn't be forgetting things. And really this comes down to we're like, what is happening to our bodies? I think women mostly going through the different transitions in life. I think we go through the biggest changes, but men go through that too. And I always encourage men, I know I do talk about hormones and menopause and perimenopause, but I think it's important for men to really listen in and connect and know that we don't know what the hell's going on in our bodies. And that the more understanding that you can be for the women in your life, the more knowledge that you can have around all of the different things that our bodies are going through. Like we literally feel like we're having like these out of body experiences. It's like, who is this person? What is this brain? Whose brain is this? Whose body is this? Where did this body come from? This is not the body I had. And what is going on? So So much happens. So I do love when men, when you join in and you join in the conversation and you start seeing some of these patterns in, maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's a sister, maybe it's a parent, your mother or something. And I think that it's great when I see the men come in and engage in these conversations, because women, more than anything, need the men in their lives to be really, really supportive about what is going on, because we don't even really know what's going on. So if we think about what's actually happening, we're going to talk tonight about um, obviously what we eat, how we sleep. We cannot neglect those things with just about everything that I talk about, the stress levels that we all go through. And if we can get our hormones to listen to us, if we can get them to have better signaling pathways, then everyone will be happy. The hormones will be happy, and so will we. We will sleep better. We will have better energy. We will move better. And it really becomes you really need to start paying attention. And I think the more you pay attention, the more you can pay attention. And what that means is that there's so many. I think just in general, people are used to just waiting for their lives and their health to feel like it's in crisis before they really take action. That's a real common thing. You'll hear about somebody who got sick, or got cancer, or got some autoimmune issue, or had to have surgery, or became diabetic, or and anything. Like, you could kind of go down the list, and then you go, and they'll say, oh, they were perfectly healthy. And I always ask, I go, oh, so they didn't have any what we call comorbidities. So that would be like, were they overweight? Were they diabetic? Did they have a good diet? Did they sleep well? Did they this? Did that? Are they on any medications? And usually the answers will come out, and it will be, oh, well, yeah, I mean, they were on like high blood pressure medication, or oh yeah, I mean, well, they were in a walker, or oh yeah, they were diabetic, or hey, silly Lily, nice to see you, my dear. So it's quite often that we as a society have been trained to think that when we hear that someone gets an ailment, an autoimmune issue, or sickness, or anything like that, we're conditioned to think it came out of the blue. And the body doesn't work like that. Um, if we can start paying attention, if we can really be more hyper focused, I always tell my chiropractic patients that one of the biggest things that I love about chiropractic is usually people will come in crisis because they've been ignoring the smoke detectors. Oh gosh, I got to sneeze. Hold on. Ooh, sorry about that. Thank you. Um, so we've been ignoring the smoke detectors for so long. We'll just talk back pain for a minute. It's an easy one. So, people will say, oh, I bent over to put my shoes on. I bent over to tie my laces, and I got sudden back pain. I can't move. And I joke and I always say, well, how heavy were those laces? But really, this is something, oh, and then I start to ask, well, when was the very first time you ever had like any stiffness or tension? Or, oh gosh, I've had that for years. Well, what have you done for it? Well, and they typically, oh, well, I don't know, I stretch a little bit, but I don't really do much. And so you start to see the pattern that people go through over the course of their lives, that they really don't give a whole lot of credence to these are signals. This is your body crying for help before the fire alarm, before we have to call the fire department. So, God bless you. That was a hair flinging scene. Did you see my hair? Did my hair fling? I'll have to go back and watch it. And thank you so much. Hey, Ken, nice to see you. And what are you doing in Fort Wayne? I guess you are traveling for work, but nice to see you. So the whole goal is to get you more in tune. And usually what will happen after people start getting adjusted is then they come in and they'll say, after we get them through that initial crisis mode, And now they're coming a little bit more regularly, maybe not as often because we've gotten them to a place of correction and they're coming in maybe a week, every week or every couple weeks or, whatever that is. And then they'll come in and they'll say, I was really needing my adjustment. And I'll ask, why? What makes you say that? And they'll say, I could just feel it. I could just sense that my body, and these are like words, not now they're like, wow, they didn't go into crisis. They weren't having back spasms. Maybe their sleep maybe got disrupted, or maybe they were just like, I couldn't think clearly or whatever, but they're paying attention to like these small little things rather than, waiting to have to call the fire department in. So I think it's really cool. And that's always my intention when I talk to you guys about anything that we come on here with is just to be able to say, what information can I give you that you're going to take that will allow you to improve the way that you look at your health? And a quick insight, you're going to want to watch tomorrow's Reset Monday, because tomorrow I talk about, well, let me back up a minute. Usually on Sundays, we're talking about all the things that you can do, all the things that you can start doing, that you can implement, that this is what you should be eating. This is what you should be doing to move your body. This is how you should improve sleep. We talk about all of that. And tomorrow's Reset Monday is going to talk about what you should stop doing. Okay, so I'm just going to drop that little bit of insight there, is that is for all of you who say, I don't know where to start. And you've heard me say this before, is you may not know what to do, but you know what not to do. So just some insight for tomorrow's Reset Monday. Make sure you tune in. That will go live at about 9:30 in the morning. So tomorrow's Reset Monday is 5 things not to do to get healthy. Okay. And it's, or to stop doing, 5 things to stop doing. I don't know. I don't quite have the title down yet. I'll work on that after this live, but just to give you an idea. So, Silly Lily says, chiropractic care made a huge positive difference in my life over the years. I love it. Yes. It's really, it is quite amazing. Just the level of balance in your mind, your body, your sleep, your relaxation, the way you carry yourself. I've got a young kid that I'm working with, and he's like, I think I grew. I get kids telling me that all the time. They're like, I think I grew. And it's true, because the more nourishment you give to the spine, the more fluid you're allowing to pull into the discs, and those discs will puff up. And so, yeah, people can stand taller even, and they can actually like get a little bit of height on their spine because their body's the discs are allowed to pull in more fluid and be a little more plump. So I think it's pretty cool too. So I'm going to go through, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about your hormones, what each one does. Okay. So I've super simplified this because hormones can get really kind of wild and a little bit confusing. So let's just talk about it like this. Estrogen. Now, we all have these hormones. So even men have estrogen. And think of estrogen like she's like the queen bee. Okay. And so this is what is going to help us think more clearly. This is what stabilizes our moods. Estrogen is amazing because it helps our skin stay nice and unwrinkly. And it's what, the better our estrogen levels are, the better our skin looks. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm like feeling kind of wrinkly today. So like, come back, estrogen, come back. And also the beauty of estrogen is it is the most wonderful anti-inflammatory. So one of the biggest reasons that we end up with this brain fog, that we get tired, we get moody, is because we have estrogen receptors everywhere in our body. Especially like in the brain. Think about this. We have estrogen receptors in the brain. And when you have estrogen receptors in the brain, and you have estrogen there doing what it should be, we don't get as much inflammation in the brain. In the brain, the neurotransmitters can function better. But what happens is when we get less estrogen in the body, the brain, and the brain does, the body in general, and the brain does this with many hormones, is that when there's a diminished amount of a certain hormone, it will actually add more receptors because it's trying to take up as much as it can. When there's a flood of the hormone, it doesn't need as many receptors. This is how your body regulates its hormonal balance. And so when the estrogen levels go down, and then you get more estrogen receptors, we end up getting this serious amount of brain fog. It kind of works the reverse. So other hormones, that's actually a good thing. But when it comes to estrogen, that's not so good. So we can get this adverse brain effect from having too many estrogen receptors there, looking for too much hormone that isn't there. So estrogen is a beautiful, beautiful anti-inflammatory. And when it starts to go down, we start to get into that roller coaster and we start to go down. Shawnee says, hi, Shawnee, by the way, welcome in. A male I know is taking hormone replacements to be a female and are now on prescription antidepressants and can't get off of those without extreme lows. I'm not even going to get into that, the transitioning, but you cannot, it's a dangerous slope. Taking hormone replacements just from a P squared, I know, we all could use a little bit. So as women, and then often as men as well, men will get prescribed testosterone for when their levels start to go down. This has to be highly regulated. And we are talking about very small shifts in hormone regulation because just to get our bodies to be optimized, right? So that's what we're looking for, is optimization of hormone regulation so our bodies can function the best that they possibly can. But transitioning from one gender to another, that is the Wild West. And I feel really, really badly for these people because they are going to, at some point in their lives, recognize that this, gender by pharmaceuticals is not a way of life. So, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But I get it. So not for brain fog, for inflammation, for all the things. Yeah, I'll take it for brain fog. I'll take it for inflammation. I'll take it for all the things. Sometimes during the day, I find myself like at my office and I'm like, I'll gung ho like 1 minute and going into a project. And then suddenly I'm like, I just kind of lose it. It's crazy. Yes, I'm so with you on the eye roll. And again, I feel really badly because if that's what the medical establishment wants to offer these people, whew, man. Then my husband was told his testosterone was low. He's in his 30s. So interestingly enough, 40% of men under 40 have low testosterone and erectile dysfunction. So it is, and here's the thing, Shawnee, and I think you've probably been here on the show, maybe when I've talked about forever chemicals and PFAS and all those dangerous toxins. The microplastics ones that I talked about recently, I did a microplastics one a few weeks ago, and we talked about how there's microplastics in our brains, there's microplastics in male testicles, there's microplastics in the cord blood of women. I think I read somewhere the other day, it was like, we have the equivalent of like 5 or 6 bottle caps of microplastics in our brains, all of us. It's crazy. And so that's where taking care of your liver, making sure that you're utilizing foods and nutrients to clear and cleanse, detoxify, binders, things like that, to make sure you're keeping those toxins out. I'm worried about what his underwear is made out of at this point. Okay, so great point, because I just read another study that they took dogs and they put polyester pants on the female dogs, and they carried out this experiment for a couple of years, I think. And what they found was that it created infertility in the female dogs. I don't know if they did it on the male dogs or not, but it created infertility. Anytime you're wearing, so underwear is a big one, and then soaps, lotions, but then also just food, plastics in our foods. Look at, you don't think you buy plastic when you start paying. I don't think I buy plastic, and then I open my refrigerator and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's everything's in a plastic bag. Oh my gosh, there's the vegetables were wrapped in plastic. The meat you buy at the butcher goes into that little tray. That tray has PFAS in it, the forever chemicals. It's everywhere. So we have to be really careful about what we're doing for ourselves, taking matters into our own hands as best as we possibly can. So what did you just say? Shawnee grows cotton. Shawnee grows. Oh, I was like, Shawnee grows cotton. What? You do? Send some cotton my way. Yeah. So we should all be wearing cotton underwear, cotton pants. I wear Lululemon pants to exercise in. It's all microplastics. A lot of these companies, I think I mentioned this the other day, was that a lot of these companies that advertise that their yoga pants are recycled, made from plastic water bottles, stay away from those, because you're going to get those microplastics get into your skin. Like, you're like, oh, that's great. My yoga pants are made from plastic water bottles. That's awesome. I'm doing something good for the environment. Yet you're killing yourself. Joe, there's Joe. Oh my goodness. I'm so sad I missed you today, Joe. I just made it, did not get to edit my video, but it is made. And when I get off here, it will be ready. By the way, just want to remind everybody, I did put a link in the show notes, and it's a happy hormone checklist. So if you would like that, go ahead and hit the link in the show notes and sign up for that. And then I will get that emailed over to you. Maybe not tonight, but tomorrow for sure. So Silly Lily says dairy in tubs of plastic. Yeah. So I talked about that, gosh, last year. Anything that goes through a tube, so milk, butter, and cream, anything, it all goes through a tube. It goes from the cow, goes through plastic tubing, and then even if it's organic, and I hate to say this, but I'll just admit to you guys, I'm not here to lie about anything, but I use this, it's called Kelowna with a K, milk. There's another brand of milk in a glass bottle that's from here locally. And I've tried making yogurt with that one, and it spoils. It literally bubbles and ferments in a bad way within about 2 days of making the yogurt. And it's not cheap milk. So I've actually found, and then this Kelowna, it's like low pasteurization. It's I don't know, it checks all of my boxes. And I use it, and it makes the best. It's super creamy yogurt. It's really wonderful. It's in a plastic bottle. You have to just kind of pick your battles on that one. That's a tough one. I am still trying to source raw milk. I did get some given to me last week, and I made yogurt out of that, and it tasted like ice cream. It was amazing. So we do want to watch our, pick your battles, but do your best is all I can say. And then sometimes I just say, give it a blessing and move on. Yeah. So herbs that balance the endocrine gland. Is that a question? Are you asking me what herbs? I do have a list of things to go through here. Always launder any new clothes, linens, towels before use. Yes, that is 100% true. And that doesn't mean that you get the chemicals out on the first wash, unfortunately. Yeah, I think this Kelowna it might be A2. The stuff in the glass bottle, that's A2 milk. And I'm really, really disappointed. I get it from Zerbo's, and like I said, it goes bad in like 4 seconds. It's terrible. So this Kelowna Supernatural organic cream top whole milk, low temp pasteurized, grass fed cows from regenerative farms, USDA organic. So this is the one that I get. I'll drop this link in here. Again, if you can get, but even still, even when you get raw milk, that goes through tubing. Oh gosh. All right, I just put that link there for you. I make my own Greek yogurt, sour cream, cottage cheese, cream cheese, ice cream, etc. Okay. I make my own Greek yogurt because I strain the heck out of it. It's so good, isn't it? I would love to make sour cream and cottage cheese. And my yogurt we use it like cream cheese. But I would love to know how to make cottage cheese. So I need your cottage cheese secret. Please and thank you. Go back here for a second. Okay. All right. So let me go back to my notes here and go down. Okay. So we have estrogen. That's going to help us with our inflammation. That's really going to help our brains. It's what helps us think clearly. Think about it like the oil in your engine's car. It's just going to help everything run smoothly. Progesterone. Progesterone is like your teddy bear. So it's going to help you fall asleep. It helps you feel calm. It keeps your brain from spinning out of control. And when progesterone drops, you feel anxious, irritated, and you can have trouble falling asleep. So I ask people 2 questions. Do you have trouble falling asleep? If not, do you have difficulty staying asleep? Those are 2 different hormonal pathways that we have to manage. So progesterone is there. That's, if you're having trouble falling asleep, we might need progesterone on deck. And then testosterone, that's your tough guy. Like we get stuff done. Testosterone gives us energy. It helps us build and retain muscle. It keeps our brains sharp. It boosts the sex drive. It keeps us strong. If it drops, we can feel tired, we can feel weak, we can get depressed, no desire for intimacy. So think of testosterone as like, this is your coach, man. This is the coach going, you got this, get up, let's move. Like that's your motivation. Testosterone, that's your big guns. And so women need testosterone as much as men do. And especially as we age, as women age, we can fall more prey. I don't know if prey is or victim or whatever. But as our testosterone levels drop significantly along with estrogen, and now we can lose muscle at a very rapid rate. So this is why it's it's always recommended that women do strength training. So that you are, because your muscles are very, very metabolically and hormonally active. And so if women do strength training, that actually can build your testosterone naturally, and then that will help with your muscle retention. I know we want it all. We want all of it, right? Okay, so then we get cortisol. Okay, now, if you think cortisol is the bad guy, go ahead and raise your hand, because I think most people think cortisol is the bad guy. Cortisol is only the bad guy when it's not functioning properly. This is like everything else. Estrogen's not bad unless it's too low. Testosterone's not bad unless it's too high or too low. You can have testosterone that's too high, and that can cause, facial hair growth and can cause anger issues. And so this is why it's such a finely tuned process. So cortisol is what wakes us up in the morning. Cortisol is what helps us handle stress. But when there's too much stress and it's always on, we get too much cortisol. Then what happens is we end up feeling wired and tired all at the same time. This is where the belly fat will come in. This is where sleep issues will come in. So cortisol is that also the guy that wants to come to the party at 2 a.m. when everybody's ready to go to sleep. So that's one of the things, that and blood sugar regulation, that's what wakes you up at 2 a.m. When it doesn't function properly and you're like, woohoo, and they want to have a party at 2 a.m. And you're like, no, I need to stay asleep. So if you're a 2 a.m. wake up person, that is a sign of either a blood sugar decline, cortisol imbalance, or a combination of both. And we can talk about what do we do about that. So insulin, what does insulin do? We hear about insulin and blood sugar, diabetes, prediabetes. We have an epidemic of type 2 diabetes, especially in our young kids. And so we've got to get a hold of this. So insulin moves sugar from your food into your cells for energy. But when it's out of balance, what happens is it's kind of like it goes up to the door, it knocks on the door, and the door doesn't open. And so then it has to take that sugar from your food and it has to store it somewhere. And so it stores it as fat. And that also can get stored as belly fat. So having insulin resistance, so that means that your cells are not allowing insulin to transport the sugar into the cells. So that is insulin resistance. The receptors just are checked out. And so that's also going to create more inflammation. It'll create more crashes, more blood sugar crashes. And then, of course, it's going to cause more disrupted sleep, joint pain, joint aches, brain fog. It goes to all the things. So you can see like the common denominator is really making sure that all of these live in harmony together. And yes, Joe, body aches from all the inflammation, that is a very real thing as well. I think, and again, for men, for women, there's some natural herbals that you can be using for testosterone, for estrogen, for progesterone, for all of your hormones. I always recommend, listen, we've got to shore it up with lifestyle first. You'll never hear me say, just go straight to the hormones or just go straight to the supplements. We have to make sure we have our hormones or our lifestyle in check. My goodness, excuse me. You have to make sure that you have your hormones and your lifestyle in check. See, there's the brain thing. And then you can go to the supplements. And then if hormone replacement is for you, then you can do that too. I do have some natural sources of low level hormones that help with estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. So if you're interested, you would have to private message me. Probably can't have those conversations and give dosages and things like that. So, okay. Shawnee says, I don't have enough cortisol when I start the day, so I crash in the afternoon. That can also be a blood sugar issue. That could be a protein issue. So, and then oftentimes people who fast, who have blood sugar issues, we have to fix the blood sugar regulation before we can be fasters. So, so that can be just switching some things around as well. Belly fat problem right here. I have stress. Yeah. And so then it becomes, how do we manage the stress? And because our stress is not going away. Bee pollen and ginseng sound very beneficial. I do a teaspoon of bee pollen in my shake every morning. But mostly for me, that's mostly because I had mold exposure in my house. And so I wake up very lung congested every morning. So it's down here, it's not up here. So I do that as a way to, just kind of, just in case it's not allergy related. Hold on, Bentley's knocking at the door. Okay. All right, let me see your questions before we go on. Cottage cheese, heat milk to 190, stir constantly, remove from the heat, add lemon or vinegar and let it rest. Strain, add 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. Oh my gosh, that sounds like, that also sounds like ricotta. It's very similar to ricotta. And then Shawnee says, removing alcohol, sugar, caffeine, white flour, refined processed foods and salts, and very addicted to sugar, really struggling there. You're going to love tomorrow's Reset Monday. So now there's ways to, so I didn't preface this in tomorrow's video, but when I talk about just, like, don't do that stuff, right? It's easy for me to say, just don't do that. That sometimes at that point, that requires like a healthy detox. And I've done detox with the doc. I do work one-on-one with people doing healthy detox through food. I use supplementation with that. I use very specific nutrients, and that it helps to reset the gut. I do have a 7-day gut reset handout. I don't have that in the show notes, but I probably should put all of my downloads in the show notes. I can do that. There you go. That's my email. If you want the 7-day gut repair, I forgot exactly what it's called, but just put, please send me the 7-day gut repair. So that's my email right there. And I know, Bentley. I'm so in our farmers market starts here in 2 weeks, and my quart jar of bee pollen that I had, I just used the last of it yesterday. So my gal will be at the market. She has eggs, and she'll have bee pollen and honey and all the good things. So I'm super excited. Why does everything come back to exercise? It just does, right? We are designed to move. We've got to move. Let's see, when Ken drove commercially, he used bee pollen for energy. Yeah, I love bee pollen. So not a bad way to go, just using all that natural stuff. Silly Lily says, me too, sugar. Just when I get to the point of being sugar-free after a month, I get a box of chocolates as a gift. It doesn't that figure, right? I know, it's crazy. Okay, I'll go back to my notes. All right. I have it on a different screen, so I'm going back and forth. Okay, so now let's just talk about some foods that you can use. So things that are going to help your hormones. So think about this, every bite of food, everything you put in your mouth, is it going to put the flame out, or is it going to fan the flames? And everybody knows, like, is this good for me? Is this not good for me? I feel like that's where, we're not dealing with an intellect problem. We're dealing with a very, I'll call it a chemical problem, because the bacteria in your gut can be so overgrown, and it's very powerful, and it can send signals to your brain that make you feel like you're out of control. So a lot of times it's not your fault, but we have to then, once you're conscious of that, then it's like, okay, let's take action and let's kill off all that bad stuff, and let's put the good things in it. So things that you could do. So let's talk about, flaxseed. Flax seeds have actually been shown to help balance estrogen, and they can potentially help with hot flashes. There are some supplements that women will take that has flax in it. You could do flax seeds, you could do flax meal, you can do flax oil. And that can also be very helpful. I prefer the seeds or the meal, because the oil is super high in calories. And until I started counting my macros, I had no idea how much fat I was taking in, or calories in general. So, and also, just let me say that I didn't put that in part of the show notes here today, but I think it's really important that you track your macros, your protein, your overall calories, your protein, your fat, and your carbohydrates. And maybe I should probably make a note of that for, okay, I can't click off of here right now, but I'm going to make a note of that. I think next week we're going to talk about tracking calories. Would that be interesting to you guys? Hold on, let me write that down. Tracking calories, how to track calories, what that would really mean, how it would benefit you, how it can be a pain in the ass. Let me know, because I feel like I've been talking about that enough, but I haven't really done a show on it. And I want to use seed cycling bites. I printed out the recipe. I've never heard of that. I like anything with a seed in it, and sugar is highly addictive. There was a study done with sugar and cocaine on rats or mice, and they found that they went to the sugar over the cocaine. So yeah, so sugar's more addictive than cocaine. So I know, we love that. I would love a personal chef. That'd be so great. Um, Silly Lily says, I breeze through premenopause to menopause. No hot flashes, or as I call it, power surges, no night sweats. That is outstanding. I breeze through it pretty good as well. I have, oh my God, my daughter just came home, scared me. I have the occasional night sweat, but in general, I think like a little bit of brain fog is mostly what I get. But so many women struggle so badly, and I think and also even if you breeze through it, I think it's critical to pay attention to, because you already know you're losing those hormones, and so what do we do to manage ourselves so that it doesn't get so far out of balance that then suddenly you're like, oh shit, I should have done something about that 10 years ago. That's kind of how I feel about that, right? So we have flax seeds. So omega-3s, omega-3s are going to be huge in helping us with inflammation and brain fog. You can get that through salmon. Chia seeds are actually high in omega-3s, but I always prefer salmon. Grass-fed beef is also high in omega-3s. And of course, our leafy greens are super high in magnesium. That helps with anxiety. It can help with sleep. Magnesium's incredible just for helping us relax. So any foods high in magnesium would be helpful. Our cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflowers, that whole family, those are wonderful detoxifiers. And they can actually help to bind the old estrogen as well as the environmental estrogens. And the environmental estrogens are going to be things that are from plastics, the things that look like estrogen but aren't, and they aren't helping your body do anything. Berries, any kind of berry, are super high in antioxidants and help protect your brain. I had a patient come in the other day and he said, oh, Dr. Gundry, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dr. Gundry. Dr. Gundry says, don't eat blueberries because they're too high in lectins. And I'm like, bless you, bless you. And I'm like, maybe they have lectins in them, but you're going to tell people now not to eat a blueberry. Blueberries are perhaps God's most perfect food, in my opinion. And when you're trying to give people options to get off of crap, don't tell them that they can't eat berries. I get so mad at some of these health experts that's what's creating the confusion. It's like, I'm just trying to get you to eat real freaking food, and not confuse it with all the other garbage, literally. So I need to look at balancing my hormones, want to do it naturally. Yeah, I can help you with that, Silly. Bless you, because I'm doing mine naturally as well, just so you know. So foods to avoid. We already know, and we just talked about it in the chat, that sugar is incredibly inflammatory to your brain, to your body, causes, that sort of those joint aches and pains are going to come in. It damages your cells. It crashes your mood. It disrupts your sleep. It disrupts your microbiome. It's just not good. Processed seed oils. So canola oil, vegetable oil. If you are cooking with anything other than avocado oil, olive oil, or well, you shouldn't be cooking with your olive oil. That's a finishing oil. You can cook with avocado oil, coconut oil. But if you're using anything else to cook, you need to throw it away. It's not good. It's not good for you to ingest it. It's rancid. It's had to be cleansed with hexane to get rid of the smell. It's not for human consumption. And then, of course, alcohol. That also zaps our estrogen, disrupts our sleep, causes more inflammation. So think about this. What is one food that you think that you can eliminate, or one food that you think you can add, and how would that make you feel? So that would be my challenge for you this week. What is something you can add? What is something you can subtract? And then let me know next week how you feel. So, yeah, it's so drastic. It's like him and I've talked about this before. What's his name? Dave Asprey, the bulletproof guy. I'm like, just shut up. Just shut up. I can't with their nonsense. Okay. So here's some other habits that are going to help talk to your hormones. Sleep. Anything that I talk about, anything. You could do all of it. But if your sleep is still disrupted, then you shouldn't do any of it, and you should fix your sleep. Your sleep is the number one thing that must get fixed. It's got to get corrected because, again, poor quality sleep creates a destruction of the microbiome, creates inflammation, creates brain fog. It's all the things. It creates a disruption in your hormonal cycle. So you've got to get your sleep habits on deck. The best time for your hormones to heal and for your gut to heal is from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. That is healing time. And so we need to really think about how can we stay in that sleep zone, especially from 2 on, because most people will get that 2 a.m. wake up. And so you want to have high quality sleep from 10 to 2, and then make sure that it continues on past that. Sleep helps your brain organize its thoughts because it's actually detoxifying your brain, and it's helping for fresh new connections for the next day. So if you're, again, brain fog, having some memory lapses, then you may want to, again, look at your sleep cycles, your sleep quality. I have a patient who she sleeps great because she takes trazodone at night, and then she takes something else in the morning to wake her up. She suffers from severe anxiety. This person needs a lot of work. And so when I say heal your sleep, that means you cannot be taking pharmaceuticals to go to sleep. If you do, then figure out what the root cause is. Because that's not a long-term answer, because what the medications do is they disrupt your sleep cycles. So you might think that you're getting good sleep, but you're not. You're not getting into deep sleep. You're not getting into REM sleep. So it's actually disrupting your body's ability to cleanse itself, your brain's ability to cleanse itself, disrupting your hormone cycle. And so I would definitely urge you to look at some other things you can do, and then talk with your doctor about weaning off. Sleep alone will raise progesterone, which helps you feel calmer. So it's another plug for sleep. Now, sunlight. Natural sunlight in the morning helps your cortisol to come up. So that's like those sunrise clocks that we talk about. We want cortisol to come up slowly. We want melatonin to go down slowly. And same thing at night, we want the reverse of that. We want melatonin to come up slowly, cortisol to come down slowly. And then, it's this nice crisscross event that happens in order to get us into our sleep-wake cycle and keep us awake during the day. So Shawnee, also those crashes, if you can start viewing morning sunlight, and then of course going outside and getting sunlight during the day at different times to get the different wavelengths, that can actually be really helpful to that afternoon crash. If you start to feel the afternoon crash coming on, you might want to go outside and get some sunlight. That could help. Movement can balance your insulin and lower your cortisol. So again, if you're pre-diabetic, if you are insulin resistant, you must be moving. You've got to be burning up the sugars, the calories that are coming in, and it will help your better cortisol and insulin balance. Walking alone can help lower inflammation and boost brain power. So, don't discount walking. You don't have to be starting with something super intense if you just can't do that. And then with all of the movement, let's just talk about stillness. So 5 minutes of stillness, not just lying in bed and just crashing out at night, but maybe in the middle of the day, if you can do 5 minutes of deep breathing, 5 minutes of journaling. There's a practice called non-sleep deep rest. And they are guided meditations that you can look at that would walk you right through a very calming 5 or 10 minutes in the middle of the day. It's so refreshing and so recharging to your brain. So if you find yourself in like a brain fog state and you need to be creative, go on YouTube and look up non-sleep deep rest. And it can be very helpful in helping to calm those stress levels. So Shawnee, if you're feeling that push, go do non-sleep deep rest for 5 or 10 minutes. So that can be really, really helpful for you. Let's see. Ken says, subtract fast food and you add fruit and veggies. So Not exactly sure what you're saying there, but I'm thinking you're saying stop the fast food, add fruits and veggies. And yes, I know what. You want to bring me some? Okay. I haven't tried them. My daughter made gummy bears, not funny gummies. She's doing a candida cleanse. She's been so great. And she made, what'd you put in these? They have like pure cranberry, pure cherry juice.
I did another batch with monk fruit, but my mom is crazy and doesn't like it.
I don't like monk fruit. No. Okay, here. Okay, so let's see the little. She bought these molds. Aren't they cute?
Try and stretch it. You can show them the texture.
Okay, and then so it's got beef gelatin in it,
Agar powder.
agar powder. Look at that. It's literally a gummy bear. Inulin, prebiotic.
Yeah.
It's a total gummy bear, you guys. Oh my god, it's so good.
I made some stars too.
Thank you.
That one looks kind of ugly.
So she's doing a candida cleanse. She's been really good about it, but she was having a craving for a snack. And she figured this out and she made this, and super low in sugar, super high in antioxidants. It's got the inulin, so it's prebiotic and fiber. And what else?
Agar powder.
On the beef gelatin.
And gelatin. Yeah, so it's just
So she's
fiber
getting
and protein.
Yeah. Yeah.
Antioxidant.
Yeah. I know. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yummy.
Those are really, really good. If she doesn't get them out of here, I'm gonna, yeah. I know.
Try one of the circles.
Well, I don't want to chew into the microphone. I will though afterwards. Can I have
They're
it
like
here?
half.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna set that there.
Okay.
I don't want to offend everybody but thank you. Okay. P squared. I know we live in Michigan, and hopefully I keep saying it's like 35-degree purgatory around here at this time of year. It just doesn't shift. So yes, as soon as the sun comes, please get out and get some sunlight. Shawnee says, my sleep has changed for the better. I was going to bed at 3 a.m. Holy crap. Now it's midnight and I'm awake at 7 a.m. with the sun. I agree. When I get tired at 2 p.m., if I go sit outside, I feel better. Good. Fantastic. Yeah. And do you work at night, or is that just how your sleep cycle has? Deep breaths, 10 minutes makes sense, even being off of technology for an hour for sure. And one of the things too, gosh, I keep thinking of videos I need to do, which I don't remember if I did this or not. So I'm going to do another one, is blowing up a balloon. So anytime, and that would be something really helpful before bed, is get a balloon and just blow it up 2 or 3 times. And that long, steady exhale that actually resets the vagus nerve. And so you increase vagal tone. And what that means is that it actually puts you into a calmer state. So a lot of times too, one of the reasons I like to say to blow up a balloon is because he's not happy that she left the house. I like to say blow up a balloon is because even if I tell people take 10 deep breaths, this is how people breathe. There's this like people pant. People don't know how to breathe. We don't know how to take breaths deep. Well, I know how to take a deep breath, but most people don't know how to take a deep breath. They never fully fill their lungs. But if you have a balloon, you will literally go, you will fully fill, you'll bottom out your lungs, and then you will exhale all the way. So you're super exercising that whole lung capacity. So I love, love, love the balloon exercise for deep breaths. So, and again, getting off of technology. And yeah, these gummies are, you guys, they're so good. I told her, I'm like, you have to hide them. I'm going to eat them, eat all of them. And now it's sitting in front of me and I have to wait till the show's over to eat it. That's just not fair. I work at night when the kids go to bed remotely on the computer. Okay, then I work on my YouTube channel. It's that quiet me time or talking to friends that I was staying up too late now. Good. Yep. So I was actually listening to Alex Hormozy. I don't know if you guys know who Alex Hormozy is today. And he was saying one of the things that really changed his life was he stopped treating weekends like they were different than the weekday in the sense of sleep. And I was like, I do that. I mean, it's very typical that I'm going to bed at the same time every Friday and Saturday that I do every night during the week. I'm really, really disciplined when it comes to my sleep. It is rare that I stay up very late. And if I do, I'm kind of upset and I know I'm not going to feel great. So really, I'm glad you set boundaries around sleep, because again, sleep is key. It is critical. It is like it's not like, oh, I ate an extra cookie this week. It's not like that. Like your body knows what to do with that. Sleep alone and not getting it is so damaging to your overall health. So I'm glad you set those boundaries. Hey, hi, nice to see you in here. I've never had issues with sleep. I'm asleep before my head hits the pillow. Grateful because I know, yeah, oh my gosh, there's so many women that I know. In fact, it's so funny. I have a good friend of mine, and I thought, oh my gosh, we've all arrived. It's perimenopause, menopause, it's middle age, whatever you want to call it. We've all arrived. And she left me a video, texted me a video the other day, and she was like, hey, I just had to tell you. She goes, oh my God, I had the best night's sleep. And she went on and on, about how she got a really good night's sleep. She's like, I'm so happy. Okay, I'll talk to you later. And I called her back a couple hours later and I was laughing. She said, what are you laughing about? And I'm like, I go, when we were 20 something, did we ever call each other and tell each other how great our sleep was? No. So, sleep's such a big issue. And we laugh about it now because we're like, we share our sleep stories. Like it's like war stories if we don't get a good night's sleep. And I thought that was really funny, just the fact that she had to leave me a video to tell me how great her sleep was. I just blew up tons of balloons for a party. I love deep breaths while I'm working. That's awesome. Yeah. So know that if you're blowing up balloons, you're getting you're resetting your vagus nerve. I learned how to breathe from an RN before a surgery. She told me how to breathe with the upper and lower lungs. It makes a huge difference, right? Silly Lily, thank you so much for being here. And I will see you soon. Yeah, appreciate you so much. I'll be talking to Ken soon too. Ken has generously offered Silly Lily and Ken from Conversations in the Cafe, from Conversations in Ken's Cafe, have offered to host my show for me, meaning I can stream. They want me to stream this show onto their channel, which would be more exposure for more people for this incredible information. And I'm super grateful because you guys know I'm here. I'm showing up every week. I'm bringing it, and I just want to change the world. And so that meant so much to me to be able to take, have somebody recognize that and say, hey, your information needs to be seen by more people. So I'll let you know when all of that's going to happen, when we're going to stream across over there too. It'll still be right here on my channel, but that's just going to give us more exposure and hopefully draw more people in here and into the chat. So, okay, you guys, it is 7:00 and I didn't quite make it through my notes, but we're almost done. I think we wrapped it pretty good. And I still have to go edit my video for tomorrow. So and talk about setting boundaries. I have to make sure I set those boundaries. So I make sure I get my work done and I can have a little bit of decompression time this evening. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much. Hey, again, let me know if you want me to do a macro video, calorie tracking video, talk a little bit more about that. Nutrients, how much protein, carbohydrates, fats we should have. I think that can be good too. But I'm here for you. I'm here to bring you the information that you want, that you find valuable. So, all right. Thanks, P Squared. Appreciate you being here. Everybody else, thank you so much for the engagement, your comments, and showing up for me every week. So, and making sure I'm not lonely on this live cast. All right, you guys, we'll see y'all soon. Have a great week.